I should be getting ready to shower and then go to bed because part of the hot mess, I just got home from the gym and I'm exhausted, as you can tell. But I wanted to discuss or talk about this topic because it's been in my mind for quite a while, and that is online dating. So, just out of what do you call it? Honesty, I don't even know um, what to say, how to say it, but disclaimer. I am not right now online dating. I am on Bumble for the girls because I'm determined to find me three good friends that I get to hang out with and, just go about our lives and like spend quality time. And then I hope that doing so, the saying that says that life is what happens when you're busy making plans. So right now I'm just trying to focus on finding three friends that I can go and do things with, and hopefully as we hanging out, um, you know if she's single too, we both meet our people. But I I wanted to talk about this because I've been on online apps, I'm gonna say like 3 times, and the 3 times I never lasted more than 4 weeks. And I've met people that said that they've been online dating, like on the apps, for over a year. And I don't want this to come across as judgy because I'm not at all judging because I've been on the apps. I don't see anything wrong. If anything, something's wrong with me because I can't last a week on an app. Last time I was on it dating, I was there for 3 days and I ran for my life. And so it got me thinking, it's like, why are this app not working for me? And had different conversations with different people, and my theory for me personally was that the type of person that I like, and um, I don't want to sound this to come out the wrong way, but the type of people that I like physically, because let's be honest, you go on the apps and you swipe in based on looks. Obviously, somebody caught your attention, they look good to your liking, and then you read the bio, and if that matches what you like, then you swipe. But the first thing you do within the first 3 seconds, you're just looking at how they look, and then you swipe left whether you like that person physically or not. So my theory for myself is that the type of people that I like physically does not like the type of people that I am or my ethnicity. So I'm Latina, background Latina, and though I consider myself multicultural, I still have, Latin roots, and a lot of what I say and do and values come from a Latina background. And my experience, I feel like the people that I like and that we match and connect and go out and have a date, they always seems very excited to the idea of have a person with a different background, values, and not different values, but just a different. I grew up as a Latina. I was raised as a Latina. And my first language is not English, so I have this accent too. So they get excited about, you have an accent and you're Latina and you like to dance and all this stuff. And all in theory sounds interesting somehow. And then I don't know, like my theory is that when something happened, like it can be something very small, or when they realize that it sounds all fun but it's not really what I like, I rather to stay with somebody who shares similar background. It's funny because I just noticed that that's what happens, and they're like, nope, never mind, I'll stick with my people in a sense. Or versus me, it's like, no, like if I meet somebody in real life and we connect, it doesn't matter what you look like. To me, obviously, I want to be attracted to you, but if I meet you in real life and there is some sort of attraction, obviously, I have to be attracted to you. Then, like, your background, like, it doesn't matter to me as long as we have similar values. And talking to a few friends about this app's not working. Like, why is there not working? Because I have three gorgeous friends that are, I call them friends. They're not, we don't hang out outside of work as much. We hang out here and there, but it's not like we're buddy buddies. But these gorgeous girls that I know from work, different background, ethnicity. I think they're gorgeous. I'm not, you know, I don't swing that way, but if I was a man, I like these smart girls, young, smart, pretty, fun girls, and they going through the same thing. So I was like, okay, so maybe my theory is not as strong because you look different than I do. You're also smart and funny, and yet here you are, going on the apps, and the guys are letting the messages expire and not messaging you back. And if you've never been on the apps, it's like when you on Bumble, you match when you swipe right and the person swipe right too, and then you match. And then once you match, Bumble used to be that the girls have to always message first to the guy, but now either can message. Once you match, established. Me in my head is like, we match, that means we both like each other, so let's talk. And a lot of times I do send the first message, or I have sent the first message and said, hey, Joe Smith, or whatever, they only use the first name. Hey Joe, how's it going? Hope you have a good day. Or I'll like compliment on something that's on their bio. If they have like a cute puppy dog, I'll be like, cute picture, or oh, he's so cute, and then something funny-ish. And I was like, I'm talking about a dog, something corny. Anywho, so I saw the conversation, and they have 24 hours to reply before expires. And I could, I have like 6 people on like my profile on the like messaging, and they all expired because they never messaged back. And I know they were online in the past like 12-24 hours because you matched me, so that means you were online around the same time I was. So it's not like, oh, they don't go there every day because you were there yesterday. So if you are intentionally swiping, looking for something online, and you swipe right on a girl, like I get excited when I swipe right on a boy that had an amazing, he looks good to my liking and has an amazing profile, a lot of your values, and a lot of what you say in your online profile matches mine. I met this one guy that his bio on his profile, first of all, he was super cute, and his bio on his profile matched my to the T. His favorite sport was my favorite sport. Some of the things that he liked to do in like outside of work, it was the same things I like to do outside of work. We both wanted to live, somewhere outside of where we were currently, and have the same, which is like match completely. And or at least I thought so. And then we went on a date. He was one of the first person that I met on the app. Went on a date, and the chemistry was intense, and I was just so excited. So when I swiped right on him, I was like, oh, hopefully he swipes right on me too. And then I make sure that I was back there within like 6, 7, 8 hours max to check to see if the guy had matched me and messaged me. And I just don't. So anywho, so a couple of theories that after talking to some girls that are going through the same thing and doing a little bit of research, if you will, online, there were some things that were discussed in about why is it not working for some people, why does it not work in general. And some of the key reasons, and I have some notes on my computer, so I'm looking to the side. Some of the key points or reasons was the misinterpretation. And so people often, present or idolize like a version of themselves that is not true on the dating profile, leading to a disconnect when they meet in person. So I met one person recently, actually. It was last year, but it was like recently. And his profile picture, so basically what is that term called? What is that called when you meet somebody and they're not the person that they say they are? Catfish? Yeah, he definitely catfished me. So I'm going on this date, and I'm thinking this person looked like, and to me in my mind, what I connected more with him was we messaged back and forth for so long. And like the idea of somebody like that, it was like what got me. I wasn't thrilled about, like I wasn't hung up on physical appearance. But I read his profile and I was like, oh, he seemed like you're an amazing person, so let's go on a date. So we went on a date after talking for like 3 days. Set up a date, and I show up to the date. And I knew where he was sitting because he told me I knew who he was, but he did not look like. The only thing that was similar to the pictures, it was his height. But I think he had posted pictures of when he was like, he must be like 10 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, if I want to be nice. I show up and I give him a chance because I'm not gonna just walk away. So I sit down, we order some interest because none of us were really hungry, so we ordered some interest, some drinks. And then he's telling me the story about how I said, tell me it was nightmare online dating, a horror story, if you will. And he was like, okay, so go on this date. And this girl is looking at me like she's not being discreet about it. She's being very obvious, like just talking, just looking at me, eyeing, talking to me in a way that seems like, oh, like you're not the person that I thought you would be. Like you don't look like the person that. And I'm like in my head, like because you don't. And so I was just, he did not look anything like on the pictures. And I still sat through the dinner and the drinks, and I was just thinking, like, what is the need of like deceiving people? Because you should know what you look like and what you're posting out there. And this is unnecessary, I think. I don't think he meant any harm by putting all pictures of his online profile, but he did. And I sat there and I was just thinking the whole night, I was like, you do not look like anything like the pictures that you posted online. So I got catfish. That was fun. He was the nicest person ever. He took me to a couple little hidden places here in Nashville, and it was fun. And I'm glad I, went on the date and all that. But I got home. I said good night. I made it safe, and that was it. That was the lesson. Another reason why this online dating thing is not working mainly for girls, or at least the girls that are in my life are complaining about the same things, is the overwhelming option. So, and this is something that we also talk about, is that we think we have so many options because we're scrolling. We have so many people online and they all look amazing, and we get overwhelmed because there's so many, we can choose one person. And I cannot relate to that. If I see one person, I much rather focus on one person. And I know some online coach, I never had one, but I've heard some online coaches suggest that you talk to multiple people because you never know who's gonna, actually like go out with you and things are gonna work with them. But for me, it's like, no, if I meet a person online and we decide to meet and we hit it off, I do not mind to get off the app and focus on you and move on with you and see if things work between us, because I just don't have time. I work, I'm a workaholic. I work a lot. I do things on my own, like reading and filming and doing things for me. I don't want to spend hours talking meaningful conversations with people that are not genuine, like interested in me. So I guess I don't know if that's a guy thing. I don't know if that, I don't want to generalize, but when we see, and this is not only with online dating, but when we have all these overwhelming options of things, this is why it's recommended even in your closet that you declutter some things that you don't know, even if you don't want to get rid of, like put it aside. Because when you have so many choices, so many options, it's hard to choose and focus on like one thing. And I feel like online dating is the same. And in my experience, I think that the guys that, and I say good guys because I'm heterosexual, so I feel like the guys that liked me or that matched with me, I don't think they message me because they should swipe in to see who catches it. And then once I message back and they're like, oh shit, she actually likes me. But they probably didn't mean too much with me. They didn't like me. or they are overwhelmed with all these other girls that are matching with them that they cannot decide which one to focus on. So that's another one. Um, and then another one that I was reading about was rejection fatigue. I'm gonna read it. So it says a constant swiping and potential rejection can negatively impact self-esteem, and that one hit me so hard because I was literally just I was just talking to this girl that I'm talking online in the friendship app version of Bumble, and I was just telling her, I was like, listen, all these guys that I match with, and none of them respond. They all let this message expire. So I was like, it really messes up with your self-esteem because it has you. I messaged her. I was like, I know. I was like, I'm not. I'm hot. Like, I know I'm interesting. I know I'm fun and funny and smart. And I know all these things about myself because I hear from people in real life all the time. My best friend is constantly telling me, Ellie, you're gorgeous. Ellie, you're, and I was like, you're biased because you're my best friend and um, you say those things because you know me as a person, so you know who I am, and so you learn to love me, you choose to love me, that's why you think the best of me. And she's like, no, Ellie, you are all these things because I know you are. Anywho, so I know all these things about me, but when this happened, when you match with all these people and then nothing happens, it makes you wonder what is wrong with me, why nobody really wants to even take a chance on me and get to know me, especially if you swipe in to match with me. So that's another thing. And a coworker was telling me too about that. Just like it really messes up with my self-esteem because I'm matching all these people, yet none of them actually want to be or talk to me. So another one was the superficial focus. Again, I'm gonna read it. This one says dating apps often prioritize physical appearance, leading to a shallow evaluation of potential partners. A male friend of mine told me, because I told him, I suggested that he goes on the app because he's been single for the longest time and he's an amazing person. A lot of people ask me why I'm not with him, including my therapist, because I talk highly of him. But without going into too many details, it's just we have a lot of differences, including politics, politic views, and that's a major no-no for me. If we have different politic views, it's just a deal breaker for me. But among other things, but he is an amazing person, and I wish he finds somebody like his person because he has potential to make that person happy for the right person, right? So therapy asked me, why are you not with him, and I explained to her, but I was telling him, I was like, you should go on the app. I'm pretty sure, there are all girls there that are looking for a serious relationship, and you're an amazing person. And then he's like, Elyse, I've been on the app, and the people that I get in my profile are just not the people that you get. And granted, he's talking about physical appearance, and it's not like, obviously he's getting girls because that's what he likes, and I'm getting boys. And he's seen my profile before, and he's like, it's just not, and I'm trying to say this not in a bad way, but he doesn't get on his profile the type of people that he's attracted to, versus he's saying you get a lot of people that you're attracted to. And so I've heard this theory before where it says that the dating apps, are like, depending how you look, they will like match you with somebody that kind of looks like you, or that they know they're gonna be physically attracted to. And so the ones that like don't look like, it's just a whole, I can go into a rabbit hole talking about this online dating algorithm and how complaints and how they work. But another thing is lack of genuine connection. So the initial interaction on an app may not facilitate deep conversation. So it's hard because apps is not a natural way to talk to people. We're supposed to meet in person in real life and actually talk to people, not being on our phones with our heads down or even books or whatever. We are supposed to be out and about and talk to people in real life. And there was this funny thing. Um, um, online, or it was in person. I don't remember. It was a sign on a wall in a house, and that said Wi-Fi password, and then at the bottom of the sign it said, "We don't have Wi-Fi. Just talk to each other," which is just it made me want to get one of those signs, because we're so in this dating age, we are so into everything digital that we forgot how to talk to people in person. I can remember the time, excuse me, hundreds and the hundreds, but there's so many times that I've seen somebody in person and I want to talk to them, but I'm like, I'm gonna come up as a creepy person because nobody does that this time. And I know I'm also the problem, because I should have just go to the person, and if I make them uncomfortable by talking, initiating conversation, I'm asking if they're single, then let it be. But we don't talk to people anymore in person. And so yes, the apps is a tool. It can be such a useful tool for us to utilize, because you can narrow down your person. You can decide, oh, I want a redhead that likes baseball, and I almost guarantee you that you can find your redhead that likes baseball, because it's just so many people are out there, and there's so much potential. But then going back to the things like why it doesn't work is because we think we have all this option, and or we get tired of like so many options, and we're swiping and swiping and swiping, and we're not really taking the time to actually put the time in and only match the people that we truly genuinely interested. If we're only allowed to match people that we are willing to go and meet in person, if that was like an option, no, you can only match somebody who you're gonna go out on a date with. If we had that option, I think the apps will work so much better. And so it's very discouraging how many times you match somebody. I've matched somebody on the dating apps and then it leads nowhere. Or it's very deceiving because the person would, that's another point, they would portray themselves as something that they're not. And then they show up to the date, hoping they get whatever they want to get out of the date. And then you realize within the first 10 minutes with a person that they're not who they say they were. So it's if you're not catfish, it's deceiving. They just make the profile the way they think people are gonna like, and then not be true. Stalking potential. So some individuals may become overly invested and engage in stalking behavior after connecting online. I kind of experienced that with somebody where it just became too much for me. It was, and don't get me wrong, I'm not clinging, but at first, when you meet somebody, you want to spend a lot of time with them, and that happens in person too. It's not just online. And you want to get to know them, and because when you meet somebody online, because it's so artificial, it's not natural. You want to like just talk a lot to get to know each other, to have a sense of who you are going on a date with before you go on a date with a person. I had a friend who was, I met him online on the online dating, and I think, I don't know if thankfully or this I'm forgetting my English, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I've never been on a date with a guy online that I haven't talked to for a while. I'm not talking about talking on the apps for weeks before you meet somebody, because that also doesn't work for me. Because at the end of the day, that's more like catfishing. Why are we not making plans to meet in person? But I like to talk with a person for at least 2 to 3 days. We can schedule plans to meet on day 2 for 3-4 days ahead. We can meet a week from the day we met. But I was talking to this person online, and the first message that he sent me was, "Let's meet up." And at first I was like, I don't know. One, it seems like, yes, you're serious. I like how you just want to go for it and just avoid all this back and forth, and just go and meet and see, if we liked each other. So I go, I go on to say, sure, let's meet. And I got lost because I have no sense of geography. So I get lost, and I get to the date an hour after I was supposed to. I told him right away, like I gave my ETA, hey, I'm here. He's like, I'm not here. And I'm like, well, I am, and I don't see you. And it was just a whole thing. I got lost. I was in the wrong place. He waited for me a whole hour. He was so sweet. He wasn't mad about it. He understood. We had dinner. We had a lot of fun. We spent like 6 hours together. He bought dinner. I bought dessert and coffee. We went for a walk. It was a really good date. But then there was no chemistry. And again, some of his values did not align with my values. And that's something that I refuse to have been there, done that, and I'm not doing that again. And so I was like, okay, you're an amazing person. Again, but for somebody else, not for me. And I literally told him that. Like, I texted him afterwards. At first, I said, because I was the first girl that he ever online dated. So he was ready to like settle with me and just like move on, get off the app. And I say, no, no, no. Go explore. Make sure that I'm the one that you want. But also let's get to know each other. And I feel because we went on the app, from the app, we didn't even get to know each other, which is when it met. It was a lot of pressure, at least for me. It was awkward, obviously, because I never met the person. I didn't know anything about this person. I just went and met him at a restaurant, and I just didn't feel the connection. And I told him after 4 weeks we're talking, I told him, hey, I don't want to waste your time. I am so sorry. I don't feel the same way you feel. Again, a great person, but I'm not it. But um, yeah, I just feel that there needs to be a balance between we can talk online on the app for a little bit, but after day 3, I need your phone number if you want to move on, or we need to set up a date so we can actually meet. Um, and not online, obviously, not all online datings are negative. I know one of my favorite people at work. I used to work with her at a different job, and then now we work at this job. And she met her person. Funny story. Are you ready? So she met this person online. Okay, she's online dating. Met this guy. Make plans with me to meet in person. And as they talking to meet in person, he's like, oh yeah, I have to do this thing, my mom is coming over, so there's a restaurant, it's across the street from my house, I need to go and do that. And she's like, oh, what's the name of the restaurant? And then he tells her, and I was like, oh, that's also across the street from my apartment. And then he's like, oh yeah, what's the name of your apartments? And when she tells him the name of the apartment, it was the same apartment complex. They both lived in the same apartment complex. They rode the elevators like together, like never at the same time, but they lived in the same apartment complex, and they never like crossed paths. But they went on the dating app, and that's how they met. And so it's just funny how life is in small world and all that. But I also feel like we're not making any effort, whether it's online or in person. We're just not. And I'm not trying to generalize. I know there's some people out there, you're probably one of them, that you are actually trying to talk to people in real life. But I myself, I'm not doing that. I'm not introvert fully. I'm not shy by any means. Um, but I feel like if there was not online dating, I would make more effort to talk to people. I will be less. It's not because I don't feel comfortable talking to people. It's more about like the reaction, like what are these people gonna think if I just randomly approach them and be like, I thought about it. One day I was at Walmart. Last week I was at Walmart. This cute guy kept smiling at me. So I'm walking. I think works at Walmart because he came out of one of those freezer door or whatever, or I thought I saw him coming out of there. And I see him, and we lock eyes and we smile, and I was like, okay, nothing. So then I kept doing my shopping at Walmart, and then I leave to another aisle, and then I get other things, and then we meet again. And he was on his phone. He was like very focused on his phone, and I'm here listening to a podcast as I'm walking down the aisles of Walmart and doing my thing, minding my business. And then we both kind of got up really when we were really close, and we almost bumped into each other, and then we both smiled really big and almost like laughed. And I was like, oh my god, you were so cute. And I really wanted to ask, I practiced in my head asking, hey, this might sound weird, but are you single? And in hindsight, like, I should have done it. What's the worst that can happen? He can say, no, I'm not single, and move on with his life. I will move on with my life. I'll never see him again. And that's the end of it. But I didn't. Um, And I don't know, I want to challenge myself to do that. I want to challenge myself to be bold. And if I know I'm not gonna see you ever again, just ask, hey, you cute, are you single? Maybe not that straightforward, but I don't know, something told me, because the way that he smiled back, it was like, oh, hey, like, beautiful smile, you're cute, whatever. But yeah, I don't think all experience are, you may be one person that you met your person online and then you had a great experience and they're the love of your life and then you marry them and all that. So I don't think it all negative. I met my ex online and we were together for 7, 8 years. So I don't think things went wrong because we met online at all. I think things were wrong because, things go wrong in relationships. But my friend from work that met her person online and then, they ended up living in the same building complex. They still together after 3 years and they hopefully getting engaged soon, I heard. And so, um, yeah, I don't think everybody has a negative experience online dating, but I do think it takes a lot of effort. It takes my friend that I'm talking to right now. She tells me that she's been on the apps for a year, and I don't remember if she's on the app for both friends. I'm only on the app for friends right now. I don't know if she's on the app for friends and significant other, or if she's only looking for friends. But she said she's been on the apps for a year, and she said, I'm just very persistent. I made, my best friend. I met her on the apps, and I'm just determined to find another couple friends, and I'm good to go. And for me, a year sounds like an eternity. I was on a dating app recently for 2 days before I got out, and I just talked to the friendships app to find a couple friends, and again, just spend time with them and go about my life and hopefully meet somebody as I'm doing that. But I think it takes courage, it takes patience, and it takes a strong mental strength that I do not have. And so if you know yourself and you know something is not for you and it's gonna affect you mentally, like, get the heck out, because you don't need that in your life. When I realized that it was affecting me so much more negatively, being on the dating apps was not working for me. When I realized the damage that it was doing for me in my head, that's when I told myself, I do not need this. I need to get out of here. And even if I meet somebody, I don't meet anybody for the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, however long it takes. Like, hopefully not that long. But I know that whenever I meet that person, most likely, never say never, I might go back on the apps eventually again and I meet my person there. But as in right now, I'm not on the apps for, guys, romantically speaking. I'm on the apps for girlfriends, and I'm just hopefully meet my person in real life, because if I'm not willing to stay on the apps for longer than a week, a month, it's just not, I don't think it's gonna work for me. I don't think I'm gonna meet my person in 3 days, and that's so far how much I can last on the apps, because it's not worth it for me. But let me know if you watch some of this rumbling, or all of it. But what are your thoughts on online dating? What is your experience in online dating? Are you with somebody that you met online? Did you marry that person? I want to hear your story. If you have any story, like, how do you meet after you met online? How long do you, like, decided, like, after you get off the app? Just tell me, give me the tea, give me some hope. And yeah, just tell me how you met your person. And if it wasn't online, like, how do you meet that person, where, and did you make a move? Because another thing too that I feel like I have made some moves. I actually, let me tell you, okay, before I have, my phone is gonna die and I need to go shower because it's getting late. And I'm thinking, because I got out of the gym and I need to go shower. But let me tell you a quick story, okay? So I am looking for housing, and uh, before I found this one that I am right now in Nashville. So I'm looking for housing, and I meet this person online, like through a housing app, whatever. and his name's Chris. And so he goes, and when I'm messaging with people like that, like work related, I never picture a person that is young and like I'm physically attracted to. I always picture somebody like older, married, whatever. So I go to this meeting with this, let's call like realtor, or like this person that's renting houses. And I go in, and as soon as I get off my car, because he's texting me back and forth, like, hey, Elyse, I'm available now, and you can come now, and blah, blah, blah. He's the address. So I get off my car to go see Chris, and I'm texting him, and I see him texting, like, from outside of the house, and I was like, is that him? Young, tall, handsome. And I was like, ooh. So I go in. The whole time he's talking to me, listen, I don't think I'm listening to anything he's saying about the house because I'm smitten. I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, and it's not only like, it wasn't only the way he looked, but it was the way he was speaking. And he was just like, this has like soft voice. And I was just smitten. So I'm listening to everything he's saying, right? And I'm like, okay, keep going, keep talking, keep, telling me. And then I go back to work. Missed the exit to go back to work. I got late. I had an hour lunch. And it took me an hour and 15 minutes because I was thinking about this boy the whole time I was driving home or back to work. And I told my boss, like, when I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm late. I was daydreaming about this guy that showed me the house, and she was just laughing. So then I decide, like, I give it a thought for like a day or two, and I was like, I'm gonna message him. Like, I didn't go for the house because I don't like the house. It wasn't working for me. It was too expensive. It was out of my budget. But I go home, and all I can do is think about this guy, and I go home and I write this long message to him. Okay, I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm not taking the house. So the worst that can happen is that he would not respond back. And I even told him at the end of the message, I said, hey, listen, you don't have to respond back, but I want to live a life with no regrets. If you watch my video from yesterday, you understand. But I want to live a life with no regrets. So I'm shooting my shot. I literally told him that. And I said, hey, you seem like a very genuine person, and I, among other things, like I made it prettier. And I was like, and I wanted to ask if you were single and available. And I said, you don't have to respond to this. And I'm sorry if this seems like unprofessional, right? Because this guy is like trying to sell or rent houses, and here I am like heading on him. And so then he goes, Elyse, thank you for your message. I am flattered, but I do have a girlfriend. And but he's like, good luck on finding housing. And I'm like, okay. So never seen him again. He did message me back later saying, hey, do you find a house? Very respectfully. But I shot my shot. And I decided that this year specifically, I'm shooting my shots, okay? If I see a cute guy at the grocery store or the post office, which I have, or anywhere else, why not? Like, this is what people used to do back in the days. Talk to each other. Tell them, like, what's the worst that can happen? Just shoot your shot, whether you're a guy or a girl. Just shoot your shot and tell the girl, tell the guy, hey, in a nice, polite way, make sure they're not with a significant other, by the way. But just let them know, hey, you seem like an amazing person. Are you single and available? And are you straight? If you like, and shoot your shot. So I'm gonna leave this video rambling here. But yeah, I wish we talk to each other more. Like, let's just talk to each other in real life. But also tell me your story. Are you with somebody and how you met? I love story. I love and love stories. So I want to hear what you have to say. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.